Hello again and welcome to this fourth and final session of the Owning It webinar. This session is about exploring your belief systems and creating empowering beliefs that lead to sustained action. The last couple weeks we've gone through a series of self-reflections and considerations and vision techniques looking out into the future, and this is going to be how we kind of tie it all together with our belief systems. So once again, before we get started, my name is Brandon Johnson. I want to make sure that everybody has the materials they need. So either the workbook or the slides, whichever your preference are, those are attached in the link provided. Make sure you have that because I'm going to ask you some questions, some things you'll need to write down and consider. Also, if you have not been with us for the 3 weeks, you should go back and watch sessions 1 through 3 because Session 4 builds on the work previously done. If you start here, you'll be really confused and really lost. So let's go ahead and get started. Thus far, over the last couple weeks, in Session 1, we reflected on and recognized key moments that have led to your current life experience and overall life situation. Then what we did is we became more aware of the self-talk. You started that journaling activity, starting to recognize how you talk to yourself, the things you say you should be doing. From that and some of those activities, you created a future state I am statement, a desired life experience from 10 years down the road. You also identified 1 to 2 things you can start doing to make progress. So last week is where we ended up is identifying or having an assignment to go home and identify 1 to 2 things you could work on. Okay, and we're going to pull from that. But before we do that, I want to recap those actions that you talked about or that you captured. First, what did you notice about your feelings when you started picking specific actions to take? I'm going to give you a moment here just to reflect on that and jot some notes down. Second, what do your feelings tell you about the actions you can take and things you have tried in the past? Awesome. So one thing that I want to point out is last week I asked you to come up with just 1 to 2 things. And a lot of people ask the question, Brandon, why just 1 or 2? I have 50 things I need to do, and if I just do 1 or 2, I'm never going to get anything done. I understand that rule of thought a little bit. However, it is incorrect. Think about it this way. Have you ever seen your grandma make Thanksgiving dinner? She's in the kitchen all by herself making dinner for 10, 15, 20, however many people your family is. And somehow by herself she manages to get all these tasks done, right? What would happen if you were to throw 15 other people in there with grandma? Math would say more people can do more work, it would be more effective, it'd be more beneficial, right? But there's a phrase, too many cooks in the kitchen for a reason. At some point, it's actually counterproductive to have too many goals, to set too many goals, because the whole point is to do your goals well. And if you have 15 or 20 things, you're not doing any of them even mediocre. You're probably hardly getting to them. But if you have 1 or 2 that you can really focus on, 1 or 2 actions that you can make sure you get done, over time, those will be highly leveraged and you'll start to see huge results because you have focused attention on just 1 or 2 things that will pay value. Okay? So, in this session, that's why we only came up with 1 to 2 in the previous session. In this session, what we're going to do with all that is we want to understand how our beliefs system work and how do we actually put that around those 2 things that we chose to make sure that we act on them and build our life. Then we want to explore our limiting beliefs. You're going to identify an empowering belief statement, and then it's going to be all tied together nicely in a bow, and you can go out this week and start to own your life. Cool? So let's talk about belief systems. First and foremost, you want to really understand that belief systems are in place for your protection. And this comes back from your distant ancestors, right? First, they're there to create what we call equilibrium. When humans are living in caves, finding food, being safe from the elements, shelter, it was very difficult to find those things. So whenever you found a place that you could hunker down, where you had a steady supply of food and water, you had shelter, you were protected from the elements, you stayed there. Your body seeks that comfort through consistency, through repetitive routine. And it's genetically embedded in your DNA to find equilibrium, to find consistency in your life. Now, whenever we were cavemen and we needed those things and the risk was dying, that made sense. But whenever the risk is putting yourself out there because you are trying to go to the gym and it's uncomfortable, or it's getting off your couch because that's the equilibrium and the safety net you found, our genetic code tricks us. It makes us think it's more important and more scary, and as a technical term, than it really is. So once you know that, you can say, hey, this is just my brain telling me that this is scary, but the repercussions and the outcomes are not as dangerous as if I were a caveman. All right? The second part is audiopoiesis. Try saying that 3 times fast. I don't even know if I'm saying it right, but that's how I'm saying it. Audiopoiesis are that our belief systems will reaffirm themselves. So there is this part of your brain that is known as the reticular activating system. What this system does is it helps you recognize patterns, things that reoccur. It helps affirm your thoughts and your beliefs. One of the best examples you always hear of this is whenever you go to buy a new car. You go and you get in the car and you drive it around and you decide, yep, this is the one. It's that hot red Mustang 5.0 GT ready to roll it off the lot. And you get in it, you sign the paperwork, turn that key, you pull out of the parking lot, and at the first stoplight you see 2 or 3 other ones. Were those other cars, did they also just get purchased right now by chance at the same time yours did? No. Those cars were already there, but you didn't see them. And now that you own one, you're looking for them. And your mind does this with your belief systems as well. If you tell yourself that something is impossible, you will see things to reaffirm to yourself that it's impossible. However, if you tell yourself that something is possible, it works the same way. You can change it to believe something is possible, so you see things that will show how and what to do to make it possible for you. Does that make sense? Great. One thing we also want to talk about today is that there are 2 forms of belief systems. There are limiting beliefs, what I'm going to call BS, and then there is empowering belief systems. And we're going to figure out how to really create strong, empowering beliefs to reaffirm ourselves and start to trick this reticular activating system into seeing the things we need to see to be successful. And it starts with limiting beliefs. Let's take a look at what BS is. These are beliefs that hold you back. They're those things you say about yourself, about another person, or about a situation that prevents you from doing the things you should be doing. Okay? So, these beliefs may hold you back from taking those chances, taking those risks, because you tell yourself that it's dangerous and it's scary, and you would rather sit on the couch where it's comfortable and warm. They keep you blind to opportunities. Once again, think about what you're looking for. If you are looking for ways to affirm yourself that something will not work, something is not possible, you will not see the opportunities of how it is possible and what those opportunities are. They'll also prevent you from accepting gifts offered to you. It's really interesting to think about how whenever you are closed off from the world and you have this limiting belief that whenever people want to help you, whenever people want to support you, if you don't think that you have what it takes to grow your career, your financial wealth, your relationships, whatever it is, you are unwilling to take the support. One of the ancient sayings is, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. This means that until you're ready to learn the lesson or to accept the gifts, the growth won't come. It won't be available to you. Limiting beliefs have a tendency to keep you stuck. And this is what being stuck looks like. I want to talk to you a little bit about how limiting beliefs actually work. So here you are on a lazy Sunday, not working on your goals, wasting time, and then all of a sudden you have this thought. I should do blank. I should work on my goals. I should go to the gym. I should learn how to invest. I should read a book. I should go to a seminar, whatever it is. That's your thought, right? And then smack right to the face, you get this limiting belief that comes in, interrupts your train of thought, and it scares you. It frightens you. And what do we know about humans in pain? We avoid it. We want to be comfortable, so once we're scared, instead of going into that, what we decide is, never mind. You do nothing. You go right back to where you were, not working on your goals, and wasting your day. That's how limiting beliefs work. They're an instant. They're a moment that slips you from your thought to fear, to pain. Take a second, and I want you to think through this a little bit. With your one life component that you're working on, and those actions you wrote down in that future I am statement, let's start to tie this together a little bit. What limits you from acting on your shoulds? In order to combat your BS, you have to first recognize it. That is why you've journaled for 3 weeks so far. By identifying patterns of not only when they show up and how they show up, we can really start to put systems in place to say, hey, you know what? This is just a limiting BS. I can change this. I can go around it. The risks are not as bad as I'm telling myself they are. And you can squash them to start to prove to yourself and take the actions. Remember the bear model. If you can get out of your belief systems enough to take an action, show yourself some results, it will start to create new beliefs. And that's what we're looking for. Let's really get into those limiting beliefs. What past experiences have created your limiting BS that prevents you from living your desired I am statement? Remember that statement you wrote down last week that we started working on? What are the things that limit you from acting on that? And what are some phrases or statements that your parents or people around you use frequently that you may be holding on to and that might be holding you back? Here is what you need to know about that BS. There is a huge difference between what you hold as true and what is truth universally. And what we need to really determine is what is true that we're holding true that we're unwilling to let go of versus what is actual truth. And one way to really do this is just because something is not worked out for you in the past or it's not going out the way that you want, are there other people that have or are living that thing you're looking for in that life component, that I am statement? If so, if somebody's ever accomplished it, ever done it, ever experienced it, then it is possible, and it's not universal truth that it's impossible. These truths that we hold really hold us back. If we say that we are not smart enough, if we're not lovable, if we're not loved, if we don't love enough, whatever these things are that we tell us, we start to really think that they are universal truth, when in fact, all it takes is a little different action and result outcome to change our beliefs around that. So what would happen if you let go of what you have been telling yourself is true and focused on what is possible? How would your life look different? This is where empowering beliefs start. Empowering beliefs are important because they allow you to take ownership and responsibility. There's no more excuses. There's no more poor me. There's nobody, it's somebody else's fault. It's I'm going to own my life. They also are focused on moving you forward whenever you're stuck, whenever you're having a hard time. Instead of dwelling in the past and all the things that didn't work out, you focus on how am I going to make this happen, which inspires action. It allows you to do those shoulds, and it builds confidence over time as you do more and more. And finally, it taps into your personal strengths. If I am good at something, I'm going to use it to get past roadblocks. I know that I'm capable. I know that I can put systems in place. I know that my fears are false and that the risk is not getting eaten by a lion. It's actually just being a little bit embarrassed or not doing as well as I thought I should. So we want to move that forward. So once again, let's take a look at our guy on lazy Sunday afternoon, hanging out, not working on his goals. How does an empowering belief change the things that he does, the way that he approaches his life and the outcomes that he gets? So there you are, hanging out Sunday when you have that thought, I should work on my goals. And you know what? You have an empowering belief that whenever you say I should, instead of getting scared, you go, yes, and I'm going to do something about it. I got this. I can make something happen. I can make progress. And over time, as you make more and more progress, you're going to hit roadblocks. It's inevitable. But the key to this is perseverance. Keep trying. Keep pushing until you end it. You're done. You've accomplished it. You've gotten to where you want to be. Now, this goes back to the belief, action, results, right? That empowering belief leads to the actions of perseverance, the result nailing it, and in turn creates more empowering beliefs. Now you've affirmed that empowering belief, that audiopoiesis. Now I look for it more and more that I am capable, that I can do the things I need to do to have the things that I want, to have the life experience that I'm trying to create. Remember that elephant we talked about at the beginning? The baby elephant that was tied to the post and it was pulling on the chains, and over time it just became so sad and stuck. It has a limiting belief. Now that limiting belief was entrenched in it on purpose and intentionally over time, but your family telling you money doesn't grow on trees, you got to work hard for money, people who are rich or crooks, those type of things, they may as well be tying you to a post, tying you to that limiting belief. What would your life look like? How happy would you be if you could break free of that post? If you could frolic without those chains of your limiting beliefs? I just love this video because there's nothing happier than a baby elephant and a dog playing tag in a field, and I feel like that's the kind of joy you would feel if you could eliminate limiting beliefs and just do the things that you know you should be doing. It's awesome. I love it. Now you know how empowering beliefs work. They free you from the stake. They allow you to work on your goals, and they create more empowering beliefs. Let's go ahead and make some. I want you to create an empowering life experience statement. This is something that you're going to keep with you. You're going to put on your mirror. You're going to put on your wall at work, wherever you need to put it so that you see it. And this is what you're going to do. Any area that is colored or grayed out, you will fill in with your own personal statement. So I will achieve whatever my desired life experience is in the one area, that life component, through the actions I've identified, those shoulds, because I hold this belief. I'm going to give you some examples and then we're going to come back to it, okay? The first example is, I will build a business I am proud of by making progress every day because I know people need what I have to offer. I will cultivate deep, meaningful, and supportive relationships by opening up and connecting with those closest to me because I know they care about me and I care about them. I will feel confident and healthy in my body by increasingly eating healthy and going for walks because I know I can be healthy. I will be proud of my success at work by taking on additional duties and growing my capacity because I know I am a great leader. So there's a handful of examples. Let's pause here and take a moment to write your own belief systems. Your own belief statements, sorry. It's not enough just to write a belief statement. You have to actually live it. You have to practice it. Remember the bear model, remember? You have to take the action in the new statement to see the results, and it will reaffirm your beliefs. So what I want to offer you here are some ways to continue to anchor the new statement. First is to be grateful. Gratitude is one of the key things to happiness and to progress. So here are some ways that I like to practice gratitude and build more gratitude in my life. The first one is an activity we call 3 things. This is where at the end of the day, or you can do it at the beginning of the day, me and my fiance prefer it at the end of the day, where we sit down and we say 3 things that we're grateful for that happened that day. Either an activity or just each other or the animals or, whatever it was. Traffic was good going to work. It could be simple as that. I'm grateful for those things. And you really feel the emotions around it, and it helps you practice and recognize things that you're grateful for. The third is to keep a gratuity journal, to write down things that you're grateful for, to write out why you're grateful for the things in your life, and practice putting those thoughts on paper and getting them out. The more that you exercise that muscle, the more familiar it will be to express gratitude in the moment, and you will actually just start finding yourself owning those moments more because you're grateful as they happen. And then I stole this third one, gratuity rock, from the movie The Secret. There's a part in there where a guy says that he keeps this rock on him, and he tells a whole long story. But the short of it is he keeps a rock in his pocket, and every time he touches that rock, he just says something he's grateful for. It's just a physical reminder to say, hey, be grateful for what you have. And that rock, that tactile reminder, allows him to do that. The other piece of this I want you to think about is empowerment. How do you empower yourself? Ask yourself good, empowering questions. The value of a coach, a personal and professional development coach, is they are really good at asking empowering questions, or they should be. Sometimes we're not good at doing that for ourselves. So if you practice this, you don't even have to know what that means really. Just Google empowering questions to ask yourself. There's some great resources. Pull those out, and whenever you find yourself down, go to that sheet and ask yourself those questions, and they will give you the insight to take the action you need. You can also write notes to yourself. I would do that with your life experience statement that you just wrote, that empowering life experience statement. Put it on a mirror so you see it. Any mirror can be written on with a dry erase marker. If you get some dry erase markers, you can write yourself empowering statements on your mirror so you see them every day. Write them to your family, write them to people around you, whatever you think would work for your lifestyle. And the third one around empowerment is daily affirmations. These are mantras that you recite. They can be the same thing over and over. They can be just one-offs that you say, today I'm going to be excited about going to work, whatever that is. And you just tell yourself that I'm excited to go to work today. I'm excited to go to work today. I'm excited to go to work today. These affirmations affirm your feelings. They tap into that equilibrium and the audiopoiesis, and they practice flexing that muscle to look for positivity. And then finally, fulfillment. In order to be fulfilled, we want to share our gift. It is one of the quickest ways to become fulfilled because people like being good at stuff. We have a natural tendency to want to be recognized. And if you're good at something, you have a gift and you share it to others who might not have it or might need it, you automatically feel fulfilled because it's a level of service that you're giving back to the universe and the world. Also, on the flip side, that is appreciate others. Take time, put down your phone to sit down and have a conversation with them, look them in the eyes, and appreciate them for who they are. Talk to them about the things that they care about. Talk to them about their strengths. Appreciate the role that they play in your life and really connect with that. And then the part that goes along with this, and me mentioning put down the phone, is practicing presence. Our belief systems tend to come from ourselves worrying about things that have not existed or may never exist in the future. Events that might not happen. Right? We get so caught up in all the woes and the worries and the what ifs that we don't take action, and that's how we reaffirm our limiting beliefs. If you can quiet your mind and just be present in the moment and just focus on taking the next right move, as Oprah talks about, calm those thoughts. Don't allow them to run you. Some great tools on doing this. If you have any questions, let me know. One of my favorites is just next time you're in the shower, don't sing a song in your head. Don't think about your day. Just feel the water. Pay attention to the way the water feels. Pay attention to how the soap smells. Pay attention to how your feet feel in the tub or on the floor. Whatever that is, what that allows you to do is quiet those little chirping monkeys in the back of your head that are telling you that you can't do something. All right? When you're going through change and working on yourself, it's important to put systems in place that will support you and set you up for success. One of those important things you can do is to tell someone your goals. You actually increase your likelihood of follow through by 65% if you just communicate with someone else what your goal is. Hey, friend of mine, I'm trying to accomplish this in this area of my life by this date. Can you help hold me accountable? Can you just check in on me? 65% more likelihood. That is a huge, huge increase on you following through on those actions to create those results. And the more you do that, we know our beliefs will change. We'll be more likely to take more action. If you want to take this to the next level, even, it'll increase to 95% if you have a scheduled meeting with that person and having an accountability check in. One of the great things around this that you can put in place is to either join a mastermind group or a club. So if it's a running club, you'll meet once a week, once every 2 weeks. You'll have a practice together. You'll go on a run for each other with each other. And in the interim time, so that if it's every other week, you'll have set goals. Hey, this week you're going to run 10 miles. This week you're going to run 15 miles. This week you're going to do speed work. This week you're going to do weights. Whatever that is that week, you have accountability partners to check in with to say, I did or I didn't, and here's why or why not. 95% more likelihood if you have a meeting. We actually hold a mastermind group once a month where we practice this. We sit down, we come to the table, and we say, this is what I'm working on. Here are my goals for this next month to get done. We see how we can support each other. Next month comes up, you either did or you didn't finish your goals. It's very hard to show up to that group and say, I did not accomplish my goals because I was lazy. Now, sometimes things come up, you don't accomplish your goals, but there's something to having people expecting you to accomplish something that makes us in human nature want to get things done, want to be seen as accomplishers, as doers. So make sure you have a system in place of people that will help you with that. Another great method, if you're looking to put a little bit of money in this, is to find yourself a coach. Personal and professional development coaches are in place to do exactly this. They help you set clear, concise goals to take action towards. They ask you empowering questions so that you can build yourself up so that you want to take those actions. And then they make you actually set hard, I will do this by this, and we're going to follow up in 2 weeks. And I'm going to check on you along the way. So if you don't have those in place, maybe look at getting yourself a coach or joining a club or a group. You also want to make sure that in order to set yourself up to be successful, that you enjoy the process. If you have a fitness goal and you despise running, do not set a calendar schedule with 3 days of running on it. You won't see it through. You won't finish it. You won't follow through on it because you hate it. You're going to be miserable the whole time. You're going to say this doesn't work. You're going to make excuses. Find things that get you the results that you enjoy doing. Maybe you like photography. Maybe you like photography in nature. Instead of going for a 2 mile run, go for a 2 mile hike and take photos. You'll get lost in the hike. Not literally lost. I would say stay on a marked trail, let somebody know that you're going so you don't get lost. But you get lost in time. You create that space of flow, that excitement of just being there, doing something you enjoy. And before you know it, you might have walked 3 or 4 miles and you actually got more in. So once again, find something to enjoy the process. Do things that you enjoy doing that will get you the results. Okay? And then remind yourself why. There's a huge conversation around starting with why for companies. Simon Sinek has a wonderful book on Start With Why. I want to bring this to the personal realm also instead of the organizational realm. It is super important to reattach those feelings. Remember the goal setting, you're not actually after the accomplishment, the acquisition, or the attention. You're after the feeling that that'll give you. This is your why. I want to feel confident. I want to feel smart. I want to feel free. I want to feel fill in the blank. Remind yourself that that's what you want, and that's why you're going through this change. And that's why you're forcing this change on yourself that might be uncomfortable, and you are trying to slip into equilibrium and all of those things we talked about with limiting belief systems. If you can attach the why, you're more likely to push through those limits. And then put it where you can see it. We talked about this with your empowering life experience statement. Put it in front of a mirror. Put it on your laptop, put it on your phone. One of the things that I did for a while is I wanted to really start taking these shoulds into actions. So I set an alarm on my phone that went off 3 times a day. At 9:11 in the morning, 11:11 in the middle of the day, and at 3:11 in the afternoon. And all it said was answer the call. So every time at 9:11, 11:11, and 3:11, my phone would buzz, my alarm would go off. There would be a note there that said answer the call. And all this was a reminder that whenever I was sitting around and I had one of those thoughts of I should be doing something, I answered that and I got up and I did it instead of just saying I should do it. And it was this reaffirmation of I should be doing the things I say I should be doing. So get up and do them. Find a cool, unique way to put it in front of you and to remind yourself. And then get a partner. One of the great models of this is Franklin Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. They talk about climbing the spectrum from dependent to independent and interdependent. And what that means is whenever you're dependent, you need somebody to help you. If you don't know what you're doing, and there's nothing wrong with being dependent, if I were to start to become a computer programmer, I would literally have no experience. I'd be like a child. I would be dependent on people to tell me what I need to do, show me some skills, teach me some techniques, some of the rules, those type of things. There's nothing wrong with that, so set yourself up. At some point, you'll become independent and you can do it on your own. You can kind of manage it, but then you kind of get lost, bored, unsatisfied. So you want to get interdependent where you're supporting others in their goals as well. You're leveraging the things you've done, the experiences you have, the strengths that you hold to support each other and to build a community around you that will entail get you even further to the next level. Does that make sense? So these are some things you can do to set yourself up. Like I said, a great way to do all of this is to get a coach. They can walk you through this, get a mentoring group, whatever that looks like. All right. And if you want more on that, let me know. I can help you. So over the last 4 weeks, we've done a lot of work. You started with some becoming more self-aware and some reflection. You really identified what it is you want out of the desired life experience. You created a list of some tasks you can start doing. And now we're talking about belief systems. So let's talk about how we tie it all together. Success is being fulfilled in your life experience, not the results you get. The starting point of all of this is to understand that just because you are striving after buying that house, that car, that job, that doesn't mean you're going to be fulfilled and happy. You're looking for those experiences around that. So find a way to create more of those experiences without being so attached to the thing, the outcome, the result that we talked about. And then the key to your growth is in your shoulds. Answer that call. If your shoulds pop up, I should do something, go do it. That is your subconscious telling you these are the steps you need to be taking to get to where you want to go. You tell yourself what you want, what you desire all the time. This is that autopoiesis. Your mind is telling you, hey, this is the thing. You don't know where to start? This is the starting point. Go and do it. Act on those shoulds. If you just start there, you'll be amazed at how far you come in a very short period of time. And then on top of that, you want to leverage your strengths. Find support and do things that you enjoy. If we are doing things that we're good at, we're more likely to keep doing them versus things that we're bad at. If we have people that support us and have common goals, remember 65 to 95% more likely to follow through. And then things we enjoy, right? If you hate doing something, you're not going to follow through with it. But if you're good at it, you have friends that do it with you, and you enjoy it, that is your recipe for success. Touch into those 3 things. And I want you to start small. Start by going to the gym 1 day a week. Start by reading 1 book on investments. Start by taking on 1 extra project at work or having that meeting with your boss. Start by scheduling 1 activity that you enjoy for fun and recreation. Start by doing 1 date night for your spouse or your significant other. Start small, let it build momentum. You'll be amazed at how many results you can get just by doing 1 or 2 things very well instead of doing 20 things mediocre to not at all. Start small. And then what I want you to really think about is your beliefs. And I want you to think about them. When things come up and you say, that'll never work, or that's not possible, or that's not for me, or I could never do that, why? Why do you tell yourself those things? Inspect your beliefs. Sit down and say, why do I believe this about myself? Where does this come from? Does it serve me? Is there a belief that would serve me better, that would help me do more, accomplish more, be more successful? Is this truth universally, or is it just something that I hold as true that I've been telling myself for over the years? Identify those things. So this is the progress. This is how we tie those 4 weeks together, right? You started by that self-awareness, that self-talk, those shoulds, those things I know I should be doing. We identified an I am statement for the future of who do we want to become? What is the life we want to experience? And then what are the things that'll get us there? And then we inspected your belief systems on, do we even think it's possible? And if not, how do we give ourselves the permission to chase our passions, to go after that desired life experience? And then now what we're going to do is we're going to really finalize with, you need to go and do it. There's a challenge now. It's great all here in theory, but unless you leave here today and go and do the things that you mapped out to do, it's all for nothing. So before we go, I want to leave you with this. As long as you start again, you've never failed. From personal experience, we started a diet 3 months ago now, New Year resolution, right? And I've fallen off the wagon 2 or 3 times. There was a bachelor party where I took in way too much beer and pizza, right? There was the Super Bowl in there. There was a couple date nights. There was some other events where I just completely got away from my diet. That doesn't mean you failed. Okay, you gave yourself some latitude. Don't beat yourself up over it. Get right back on track. That's where discipline is built. It's not by never falling off the wagon. It's by whenever you do, getting back on track, reminding yourself why you're doing something, and reconnecting with the things you should be doing, and then doing them. As long as you start again, you've never failed. And then I stole this one from an Adidas commercial. Progress is perfection. There is no such thing as a perfect outcome. You're looking at these people, you want what they have, you think their life is perfect, but behind closed doors, everybody has their crap. If you're making progress, if you're growing, if you're living the life experience that you want to live, it is perfect. Embrace it. Okay? So, that is all I have. I want to thank you for joining me this last 4 weeks. It's been a wonderful time. I greatly appreciate your support. I greatly appreciate you being here. If there's anything I can do for you, please reach out to me. You can check us out on boostyourcurve.com for more webinars, recorded webinars, or live webinar dates that you can register for. You can also reach out to me personally if you're looking for coaching, mentoring, affirmations, some tools, whatever that is. Brandon at boostyourcurve.com, and also follow us for free content snippets at boostyourcurve.com on Instagram and Facebook. So with that, I want to wish you good luck. I want to let you know that you are capable and you can do it, as my little guy there says. We'll talk to you soon.